What up, what up? It's your boy J Issue. Look, I know I've been MIA, but please excuse my absence. I'm trying to get right. Look, for today's video, I want to talk about the Carolina Panthers not making a second mistake. Now let's get into it.
How'd you get to that point though?
That I wanted to smash myself?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be honest?
Yeah. That's
All the way honest?
Yeah. Cause you seem super strong mentally.
No.
No.
The people, when the people around you don't celebrate you properly.
I miss the past, now things were in the beginning. And tell me, have you ever seen love? Cause I swear I did it. Mama gave me love, but at least she tried her hardest. Fuck her up, nigga, birthday. Might pull up and crash the party. I owe karma so many heartbreaks that
Shout out to Dave Canales and shout out to Dan Morgan. I was never a fan of Dan Morgan becoming our general manager because he never played that role in the NFL. He played as a linebacker. He played for other teams. I'm not going to say he was Luke Kuechly before Luke Kuechly because Luke Kuechly he's on his own pedestal. Looking at free agency, the Carolina Panthers have by far either top 5 or the 5th team to excel in a free agency of this year. I already shut down the social medias as far as ESPN or other sports outlets. They never showed the Carolina Panthers any love or any knowledge when they do pick up someone in free agency or they do draft well. But you got to play devil advocate with the sports outlets because they had a vision. If the draft didn't go well of who the Carolina Panthers should draft, then there's no point in talking about them. And I give them props for that because what have we done in years? But for the main portion, the course meal, I blank out the sports outlets because they don't have a correct vision for the Carolina Panthers. So for me, and it's not me doing a mock draft because I'm not finna go through every round and speculate what the Carolina Panthers should do. Looking at Brian Burns being traded, when we gave Brian Burns help with Hassan Reddick, but we didn't keep him, that was a red flag for me because we didn't replace Hassan Reddick in an NFL draft. And we could have done so with Carter. We should have stayed put in building our roster correctly. We have way too many holes to just depend on a quarterback. That's one position that's still in question mark because there are fans that's speculating that Bryce is a bust already. His size is a red flag. His weight is a red flag. There has never been a quarterback that small been drafted in the NFL. Now, we can't predict how his career is going to end in Carolina. So we got to give him some grace. Let the team build around this man. And it sucks that we have to, but looking at Cam Newton and how his career ended, we wish we would have built around him. Cam Newton would have gave us 2 at best. So looking at 2024 free agency, the Carolina Panthers have done right by Bryce Young, whether you want to accept it or not. We got this man 2 offensive guards, headed in the right direction. We got him a receiver. Shout out to Deontay Johnson because this is a receiver in this type of caliber I've wanted for years for the Carolina Panthers, not just for Bryce Young, but for the Panthers' sake. I'm tired of seeing these big bodies that don't pan out for us. Who's to say that we need a big frame at receiver to help these quarterbacks develop? That's not 100% true. Looking at today's NFL, you seeing players that's dynamic. You could look at the Chiefs. They don't have a speedy receiver. They're doing everything behind Patrick Mahomes. Now, his receivers is not even a 1 or a 2. They're all 3s, in my personal opinion, but they're getting the job done. It's about everything having to come together. You know, when you cooking for Thanksgiving, you're not cooking one meal. You cooking everything, and everything go together. So the first red flag and a mistake that the Carolina Panthers have to avoid, we already traded away Brian Burns. We got a 2nd 2024 round and a 5th next year when we had a chance to get 2 first-rounders. We should have just traded them and got our 2 first-round picks. But Scott Fitterer was a yes man. That's why we are who we are today. We have no direct vision for the team. Like, there was no point of holding on to Brian Burns when we had 2 first-rounders in our pocket. That was a waste of time. So to avoid the second mistake, we're keeping Derrick Brown. Give that man some help. I know fans want to double down at receiver in the draft, with a 33rd pick and a 39th pick, but I'm not doing that. The player that I have in mind that the Carolina Panthers should take if he's at 33, and it's far-fetched, but Brian Murphy. If Brian Murphy the second is there at 33, I'm turning in that card instantly. I'm not looking at receiver. There's so many speed receivers that we don't even have to take one at 33. We can take one at 39 if possible. But I'm taking Brian Murphy if he's there at 33. If we can't get a contract extension for Derrick Brown, then we might as well just trade him to the Cardinals. We might as well just trade and jump later in the first round and get Brian Murphy. If this is a correct rebuild and we don't have no vision to keep Derrick Brown, we might as well just trade him to the Cardinals. But if we get an extension with Derrick Brown, I got to get him a pair. Pair him with a legit defensive tackle. And if Brian Murphy isn't there, then I'm going to go get Sweat, coming off the same college team. And Sweat, he's 6'4", 362 pounds. They're both disruptors. Pair that with Derrick Brown. And this video ain't going to be long. I'm going to keep it short. But I'm letting y'all know right now, for the Carolina Panthers not to make that second mistake, you got to get Derrick Brown some help. You didn't get Brian Burns any help. Hassan Reddick was his first option, and y'all let him walk. Right after Hassan Reddick walked, y'all should have went in that draft. Didn't draft up for a quarterback, but got Carter that went to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what y'all should have did. But y'all were so thirsty for a quarterback that y'all just bypassing every hole on a team. Now, like I stated a little bit earlier, if Derrick Brown is not in the Panthers' vision, then trade him to the Cardinals and get Brian Murphy. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. If y'all new to my channel, show that love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.